The Leo and Danny show. No, but Doctor, one of the things she said earlier that really resonated with me is she said we have these scripts as men about how to behave. And don't get me wrong, I'm not some PC pussy. I think anybody listening to this podcast will understand that. I know there's a time for men to be men. But going into college, my top 3 influences were the show Californication with David Duchovny, a bunch of ex-wrestler dudes I lived with in community college. I transferred to UCLA, and they had a long history of gangbangs, answering Craigslist ads to fuck people's wives. And what was the last one? The Motley Crue biography by Neil Strauss. Those were my Bibles going into college that influenced my treatment of women.
And I had a father who would pause classic Hollywood movies and tell me what Clark Gable and Marlon Brando was doing right with the girls as in regards to being, you know, an alpha male. And I'm a big fan of Don Draper on Mad Men. I don't know if you've ever watched that show. Yeah. So it's always these things have influenced our behavior from the start. And, you know.
Not just your behavior, but how you see yourselves as men.
You see yourself as men, absolutely.
And that's such an integral part, I think, of this conversation about sex. We cannot preclude our identity to ourselves first and foremost, and the relationship that sex gives us to ourselves. So a lot of people will say things like, oh, I don't feel very sexual today, and they'll feel not like themselves. And then conversely, when they're feeling really on their game, they like the way they fit in their clothes, or they just got a big deal at work or something like that, then they feel really vital and sexual. And so we've really got to look at how did we learn how to be who we are? And how does that shape the way we think about sex and the way we think about pursuing sex, what it means to us, and then what the experience of sex does to reinforce or rebut something in our identity.
Wow.
Do you work with people that can't have sex, that like virgins? Because I heard somewhere that like 20% or like 40% of guys over the age of like 21 are like basically virgins for the next like 2 decades. Well, because once they go out of high school and they see, oh, there's all these opportunities for me to have sex and I wasn't able to land a single one of them, they basically give up and feel like pathetic.
I buy that. I totally buy that.
The incel, is that the...
Well, hey, that's not necessarily the definition of an incel.
Right.
But yeah, I work with a lot of young people who are not sexual, men and women and non-binary folks. But really, I think a lot of men do kind of attach this idea of, if I haven't been sexual with so many people at a certain point in my life, that I'm not really a man. And they do struggle with kind of getting over that hump. I'm really bad with the puns today.
So funny.
So, you know, I think the thing is, like, there's no finite, you know, time to be sexual in our lives. We have the gift of medicine if our bodies start to falter with age. But, you know, we can be sexual in lots of different ways. And so... yeah, I think your choice of the word can't is curious. I would say they choose not to put themselves out there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess incel does kind of like involuntarily celibate kind of makes sense if you want to have sex and you're just horribly awkward. And I mean, obviously their main problem is they don't talk to chicks because they're shy and I mean that's their main thing is they don't fucking talk to them. So then they're never gonna get laid.
Austin spends a lot of time on the message boards.
I spend a lot of time with guys who are nerds because I watch anime and they talk about it. They're like, bro, I literally can't get pussy.
I can't find a girl with 8 tentacles. It's bullshit.
That is bullshit. Octopus exists, though, and you can buy them at the grocery store for like $20.
Do people actually who are into hentai fuck octopi?
I don't know, but I know there's porn of people sticking octopus and stuff in their vagina.
Yeah, that's what I was
referencing.
I saw a porn. This is way off topic. I saw a porn where a girl stuck a live, fresh from the market octopus in her vagina.
Oh God, that was not healthy.
Wait,
that
head first or tentacle first?
Yeah,
I think it had to go in head first because there are a lot of tentacles. You need some sort of zip tie to get them all together and make them one big penis. Is that something you'd recommend me and my girlfriend trying out?
No, it's animal abuse.
It's animal abuse.
That's true.
That's right. Well, yeah, I have a Patreon where I give men advice on how to get girls, and I think I have a decent approach. It's not what my father taught me. I'll say that much. It's kind of a modernized approach, and
Can I summarize it?
Way less aggressive. Sure, go ahead.
Step 1, buy him a drink. Step 2, drop in a roofie.
Oh my, that is
come
For
on now.
$15 a month, that's what he'll teach you.
Absolutely not. That is not the approach.
So SOS if I don't make it home tonight.
No, that
My
drink,
water.
yeah, I got, yeah.
It was one of Leo's
sealed, it was
students.
sealed. No, it was no. It's just, you know, I feel like having two sisters growing up definitely made me a little bit more attuned. Like I understood women a little bit better, and I was a little bit more, I guess, attuned to not be intimidated by the fact that every now and then, like I would just put it on if my advances were denied, I never took it personally. And I feel like that's the main problem with a lot of young men is that they take everything that when they hit on a woman, and I don't like to use hit. I more like to be charming. Don't hit on anyone. I feel like when a woman denies them, they take it so personally, and it could just be that they're having a bad day. It could be that they just
Or it could be the woman's having a bad day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. So in many ways, I feel like I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm glad
You
that
were plugging your Patreon.
I wasn't
shamelessly.
plugging my Patreon shamelessly. What I was going to say is I wanted to talk to her about what the things I say and make sure that I'm saying the thing that I'm not furthering the problems with these young men. And
Okay. Let's hear it. Let's hear your approach.
well, so the approach is, there is strength in numbers, but there is an approach to, I say just start a conversation that doesn't seem at all and be very easygoing and not, you can throw in a compliment to maybe make them feel like you are attracted to them, to give them that hint. So it's not like an immediate, okay, this guy just, isn't interested in me at all. So that, so there is a little aspect of, he might be into me. And because I'm talking to mainly younger men, I do say that to try to get the social media at the end, because it's less invasive than trying to get a number right off the bat. And then you can get
And you
to
could
the
also
number.
tailor your social media to make yourself very attractive
Right.
in the way that 7 digits of a phone number wouldn't give.
Exactly. That's another thing I say that, all social media nowadays is in many ways a dating app. So you tailor your Instagram with maybe a picture of your family, maybe it's a picture of you with some animals to make sure that you're sensitive.
A couple of "you need my big dick" comments. To get
Those don't need to be there, but
I would steer clear of those.
steer clear of those. Yeah. But maybe a picture with you and your family dog to make sure that she, a woman feels comfortable knowing that you're not some guy that's gonna hurt her in any way.
Yeah,
So.
but only post those things if that is your actual life. I mean,
Right.
if you're secretly Ted Bundy,
Right, then
don't
don't
do
do
that because
that,
that's
right.
manipulation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think women, all people for the most part, but women certainly appreciate authenticity, right? So to any young people, old people, whoever, just like go talk to people. We're all just human beings.
That's right. I
Strike up a conversation.
I've said that many times. Human beings, absolutely.
And do it from a place of detachment, right? You don't know if somebody's puppy just died last week. You don't know if one of their parents is sick. You don't know if they've lost their job or if they have a medical condition. We don't know people's story. So I really appreciate what you said about people taking things too seriously because rejection hurts. It sucks.
Really does, yeah.
It really sucks. But it's not always the end of the conversation. But if you react poorly to rejection in that moment, that might be the end of the conversation. Right? It could just be a question of not in this moment. So I think that's important to think about. And even if it doesn't work out with that one person, dating is a numbers game.
It's a numbers game, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're always you need to practice talking to the opposite sex. It's something that the reps. It's important to attempt it a lot because you're not going to get better if you don't attempt it. Danny has some interesting approaches I've seen in Vegas before. Absolutely, I was trying to remember what you did to the girls from Ireland, which ended in you saying that you wanted.
Wait. That was a good way to handle rejection, wasn't it?
It was great. Tell her what you did because it was great.
The embarrassing thing is it wasn't even on video because usually we pull antics like this on video.
On video, yeah.
Doctor, I was very drunk and it was in Lake Tahoe, Leo.
Lake
Get your
Tahoe,
facts
that's
straight.
right, yeah.
And I went up and I struck up a conversation with these nice Irish women who were drinking. There was 5 women minding their own business. They basically said, "Get the hell away from me. I want nothing to do with you." And I might have said I wanted to attach charges to every corner of the island of Ireland. and detonate those charges so they would get swallowed by the sea.
Yeah. He wanted to blow up the entire island of Ireland because they rejected him, which I thought was very funny at the time. I mean, he said it was a funny demeanor. They were very aggressively being mean to him right off the bat.
And I think it's a great example of being the bigger man and handling rejection well.
We all learn from our mistakes.
Wherever the person comes from, you threaten to destroy their home country. That's a lesson we can end with, I think.
Absolutely.
So that boot, Italy, I will sever that thing and let it drift out into the Mediterranean, Doctor.
I'll find you and kick your ass.
With the
That's
boot?
right. That's right.
Fuck, that's a big boot, too. That'll hurt.